Hello everyone, this is Dr. Good Vibe from OmegaSupreme.com. It is October the 8th, 2010, and I will be covering the latest currency news as well as my own trading on my own accounts. And let's just get started with today's news. Today on the unemployment rate, the U.S. unemployment rate and the U.S. non-farm employment change were released this morning. The unemployment rate came in at 9.6% versus a forecasted 9.7%. And the non-farm employment change came in at negative 95,000 versus a positive 1,000 forecasted. The unemployment rate came in very good. The 9.6% was positive change, although still not as dramatic as one would have liked. It was still positive and had a positive impact on the markets. However, the non-farm employment change, although it came in as a large negative number, the ADP non-farm employment change that was released earlier this week on Wednesday was very negative, and traders essentially had baked in that forecast into the market already, and therefore this number, this negative 95,000, was not a big surprise to the general market. So how did that impact the S&P 500? The S&P 500 actually had a very good day. It closed up to 1,165, which was actually the high of a few months ago, back in May of 2010, right before the flash crash. So very good results on the S&P 500. Basically that means that more quantitative easing will be going on by the U.S. Federal Reserve, and therefore that's good for stocks. The volatility of the S&P 500 is still rather low. It is increasing a little bit, but still in a very, very low range here at 0.04 on the Bollinger Bandwidths. That means that there's still top-line moves that can be made with increased volatility, despite this nice trend here that we're seeing with the Ishimoku Tenkan-san still pointing upward and the Kijun-san now dramatically moving upward here. The low is 1070 on the S&P 500. That's the big support, as well as 1098.10. That's another piece of support on the S&P 500. So we've got some good support way down. So I personally believe that the S&P 500, with some more positive news coming out of the US, can hit 1,180 pretty soon, probably sometime in October or early November. That is very likely, and at the very least hitting the highs after the May flash crash of 1173.27. Let's move on to currencies now. The Euro USD has been in a bit of a trading range with the high of 1.4 to the low of 1.38. I actually think that this will continue for some time longer, as the US currency news and general economic news that impacts currencies is mixed. As long as quantitative easing is going to be one of the essential tools that the Federal Reserve can use, that will definitely depreciate the US dollar and appreciate the euro. So I think that this trading range will continue for some time before any major changes in the trend will occur. Right now the regression channel is still pointing upward. However, the Kijun-san and the Tenkan-san of the Ishimoku indicator has now flatlined completely. So I actually believe that this bottom Ishimoku Kijun-san line at 1.383 will be a good support level, and this 1.393 of the Tenkan-san will be the mid-range of what should be expected for the price. However, the long-term trend is still up, and with the euro appreciating against the dollar, as the Ishimoku cloud continues to be the support line. With CCI going into now an oversold position, not really. We need to see it come down to negative 100 before it's oversold. So really the Euro USD is not oversold. It's in this mid-range, and I personally believe that it will continue that way for a little while longer, even though despite the fact that I don't trade the Euro USD. So what does that mean, and how does that impact my other currencies that I do trade? Well, if the Euro USD is going to get into a trading range, then I actually think that most of my currencies that I do trade will also be in that trading range. And I've started to see that in the USD TRY, that's the USD Turkish Lira, and the Turkish Lira has now been kind of started to go up. It had a huge up move overnight last night to now a solid down move afterwards. The USD TRY is a high yielding currency, so if you sell this currency you will be earning a great deal of interest over time on the interest swap. So that's what I've done. I've sold it essentially up and down, all the way down here. I didn't get a chance to sell here, so I've sold it again around this point right here, and so I'm going to hold on to it even despite the fact that I believe that it may go into a trading range. As you can see, the Ishimoku cloud has now flattened, and the resistance point is 1.4266 on the currency pair, and the low is currently at 1.40. So I think that this trading range will continue on the USD TRY, and therefore I will not be adding to any positions at this point. If I see the price of the USD TRY retrace back to possibly at 1.43, I may in fact then sell some more and hold on to get that yield differential. However, at this point I won't be doing anything. I'm just going to be holding on. If you have watched my previous videos, I said that I will be just holding on and not making any new trades over the weekend. That's still pretty much true. I'm holding to that fact. The volatility is, however, increasing on the downside, which is fine by me. I expected to see a little bit of downside momentum on this, as the U.S. region doesn't really do much, and as long as the quantitative easing is going to continue, this is going to be a high-yielding currency where traders and hedge funds are going to be making quite a lot just on the interest rate differential. The CCI is now getting into oversold territory, so I actually expect this to bounce back at least midway to 1.418 and possibly range in this area for a while longer. My exit strategy, I will probably close some positions out if the price gets into the cloud, and close some positions to maybe bank some profits. The Aussie dollar, so I did sell some here at this point, and really if you watch my previous videos, I actually said that I wasn't feeling too great about this currency. The negative news really kind of made me feel a little bit awkward about holding a lot of positions in this, so I closed about a quarter of my positions in this trading in this currency pair, and lo and behold, it actually pushed up, punched through its regression channel, and then came right back down and then rocketed back up again. So I'm not a huge fan of this kind of volatility. Basically that means that the market has no clue which direction it's going, and with having said that, the regression channel is now flatlining. The Ishimoku Kijun-sun is completely flat now. The Tenkan-sun is flat, and so as well as the Ishimoku Kumo cloud has completely kind of flattened out and is smaller. So I'm not a fan right now of the Aussie dollar. I find it risky to take any more new positions. I'll probably hold on to the positions that I have now, but I won't be adding to them. This again is also a currency that has a pretty good interest rate differential, so just holding on to it, you'll collect quite a bit of swap on a day-to-day basis. So I still plan on holding on to the other positions that I have accumulated over time, but I won't be adding anything until probably 0.96, 0.95. I may add a little bit when it comes down to here, but until then I probably won't be doing anything. USD HUF, the Hungarian forint. I did sell a little bit back up here, around here somewhere, and I haven't sold any at all yet. The general trend is still down, despite the fact that the price of the currency has now closed above the regression channel. So like all of the other emerging market currencies that I've seen, we're going to see some ranging now, I think. These down moves against the dollar are now sort of made their way, and if you didn't take advantage of these last few moves, unfortunately you missed a great opportunity. So really I won't be seeing a lot of these moves continuing forever. I'm currently still sitting on a 1,500 to 2,000 pip gain from the top of this range, from the top of this trend right here. As you can see, the Kijun-sen has flattened out and the Tenkan-sen has now actually turned up. So this is not that great of a news for the Hungarian forint, so I probably will be very careful to add any positions to this. I probably won't be adding any positions to this, and I'll just be holding on. I'd like to see a retracement come back maybe to 202 or even 200. 200 is probably a good point right here before I add on to any positions. Again, this is a very great interest swap bearing currency if you're on the short side. So if you just short and you hold on for a long time, you're getting that interest rate swap. Now let's take a look at my results so far. As of today, October the 8th, my results are 9.8% realized profit from when I started trading this account on September the 13th. Not bad. This is realized gains, basically trend following and currency swap gathering on a daily basis. I'm not actively trading this. I'm not trading this minute by minute. I've got a 4-hour and daily chart, so I have a normal job. I don't trade this like a trader would on a day-to-day basis. However, my net asset value, that's realized plus unrealized gains, is up 29.14%. As opposed to Wednesday, which was 32.11%. Again, as you've seen on the currency charts, prices have kind of retreated a little bit, and so that's fine. It's only down about 3%. However, I'm still positive 29.14%. That's still very good as compared to the S&P 500, which is up 4.65%, and the TSX, the Toronto Stock Exchange, which is only up 2.5%. So still beating the S&P 500 by more than double and more than triple, quadruple the TSX. If we take a look at my Omega strategy on my Sharpe ratio is 4.37. That's a risk-adjusted return against the risk-free return. And if you look at the S&P 500 as sort of an index fund, its Sharpe ratio would be 1.55 from a September the 13th start date. So very good. These are very good results so far. I'm looking forward to adding on to these positions and being slightly more aggressive when things get a little bit into a trading range. I'm looking forward to seeing some trading ranges for the next couple of weeks, as the trends have been very, very strong and prolific for the last while, and I just didn't see them going on forever. So planning on trading the ranges now, and looking forward to doing more video updates in a little bit. Again, this is Dr. Good Vibe from OmegaSupreme.com on October the 8th, 2010 at 6:37 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in Toronto. Thank you. Bye-bye.